I never thought a night out could change my entire brain chemistry. I was leaning against the bar, nursing a tequila that was already doing too much, when he walked in. Nathan, as I later learned. God, his name wouldn't leave me the second I saw him. Like my brain decided to bookmark him permanently before we even spoke. He was tall, lean, the kind of presence that made people part instinctively. Deep brown hair, eyes like molten chocolate, and a smirk that made me suddenly very aware of my mismatched shoes. I caught him staring at me. No, assessing me, from across the room. My stomach dropped, and I couldn't tell if it was fear, excitement, or the thrill of knowing trouble when I saw it. "You look out of place," he said, sidling up to me like he owned my airspace. His voice was low, teasing, electric. "Yeah?" I raised an eyebrow. "And you look like someone I should run from." He laughed, short, dark, dangerous, and it made my pulse spike. "Or someone you shouldn't." That was it. That was the hook. The line that made me want to throw caution out the window and lean into every spark shooting from him. We danced like we'd known each other for years, moving close, brushing hips, hands grazing hands in ways that made my fingers tingle. His cologne, something woody, warm, addictive, mixed with the heat of the room and made my head spin. Every laugh, every stolen look felt like the start of a fire that was just waiting to ignite. Later, when we collapsed onto the couch in a corner, it was like the world narrowed to just us. His hand in my hair, tugging gently. My lips on his neck, tasting him, memorizing him. Whispered names, soft moans, the brush of skin on skin. I could feel the sweat between us, the rapid pulse of heartbeats, the way every nerve screamed more. We moved together like gravity had shifted. Like the universe had decided that for one night, nothing else existed. I memorized the curve of his jaw, the rough scrape of stubble against my lips, the way his fingers tangled in my blue hair, and sent shivers straight to my spine. By the time dawn cracked a weak light through the blinds, we were still entangled, gasping, laughing, skin slick with heat and want. I pulled back just enough to look at him, panting, hair plastered to my forehead. I can't believe that just happened," I whispered, a grin breaking through the haze. He smiled back, something tender, something that felt like recognition. I thought we'd both remember this forever, and then I left. The next day. I found him outside his apartment the next day. I didn't plan it, I swear, but fate or bad luck had me walking past his building, and there he was. My chest thudded painfully, as if it knew something I didn't. Heart hammering, I climbed the steps like an idiot, trying to remind myself to act casual. He fumbled with his keys, back to me, and for a split second I hesitated. Do I really want this? My fingers itched to shake him, to make him remember. "Nathan," I said, a little louder than I intended. He froze mid-motion. Slowly he turned. His eyes scanned me. Polite, calm, neutral. And then something flickered, like he almost knew me. But it vanished as quickly as it appeared. My chest twisted. "Hi?" he said cautiously. My stomach dropped into some unknown void. "Remember me? Last night." He blinked, a slight frown forming. I'm sorry. I don't think so." I laughed. Short, sharp, bitter. "Right. Okay. Maybe I misread it. Maybe it was just fun." But it wasn't just fun. My body still hummed from him, my mind replaying every brush of skin, every whispered word, every laugh and gasp. My brain screamed, we shared something real. And yet his face was a blank canvas. Neutral. Safe. I must have made a mistake," I stammered, voice cracking. "Never mind." No, wait," he said quickly, eyes darting to mine like he wanted to say more. But then he paused, smiled awkwardly and added, "I hope you're okay." "Okay?" My stomach twisted. "You don't even know me." I wanted to shake him, beg him, scream at him to remember, but I couldn't. I turned away, fists clenched, confusion and frustration coiling around me. As I walked down the street, I felt the world wobble. What is going on? How could someone feel like this? The heat, the pull. And yet look at me like I'm nothing. Determination sparked in the mess of hurt. Number. I will figure this out. I have to know why I burned so bright for him. And why he doesn't remember me at all. A few days later, we bumped into each other at a corner coffee shop. I froze when I saw him leaning against the counter, brow furrowed, eyes scanning the menu. "James," he said softly, almost in disbelief. My heart leapt. "You remember?" For a second, he smiled. The same spark I'd been chasing. "Yeah, I do. I remember you. Last night. Or wait, was it 2 nights ago? No, it doesn't matter. How are you?" The surge in my chest was intoxicating. Desire, relief, obsession. It all slammed into me at once. I wanted to pull him into a kiss, to prove that I was real, that the memory was ours. For that brief moment, everything made sense. We once had fun talking. All was fine again in the world. By the time we separated ways, my heart was doing that flirtery thing again, and then, later that week, I saw him on the street again, leaning casually against a railing. My heart soared, only to slam to the floor when he squinted at me, confused. "Nathan?" I chirped happily. "Yes?" He looked so quizzical, I could swear he wouldn't even recognize himself. I froze. Number. Not again. "Do you remember me?" I asked, barely holding my frustration in check. I don't think so," he admitted, genuinely puzzled. "What's your game here?" I snapped, voice rising. "First, you remember, now you don't? Do you enjoy messing with me?" His hands lifted slightly, confused and defensive. "What? No, I don't understand either. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it isn't. I'm sorry if My chest burned. I walked away, furious and desperate, and muttered to myself, "I need answers. I need to figure this out." Later that night, I started asking around. Mutual friends, subtle questions. Anything that might explain this maddening inconsistency. Why did he remember some moments but not others? Was I imagining the connection? Or was something really wrong with him? And slowly, piece by piece, a picture started to form. He didn't always remember. Certain events, especially ones that were emotional or intense, slipped away from him. Flashes of nights out, arguments, laughs, even moments of intimacy, vanished. I confronted him later, at a coffee shop. My hands were shaking slightly, nerves and hope battling in my chest. "James," he said cautiously, eyes darting, I feel like I should know you. There's something familiar about you, familiar." My chest clenched. You don't remember that night." He ran a hand through his hair, embarrassed. "I remember pieces, but it's like trying to grab smoke. I don't want to hurt you by forgetting, by losing you." I leaned in closer. "So, what you're saying is, it's not that you didn't care?" His eyes flickered. A flash of recognition, maybe memory, maybe instinct. "I do. I don't always get to hold on to it. I forget things sometimes. I hate that I forget things." And he trailed off, guilt etched into his face. "You're scared of hurting me," I whispered. My stomach twisted in a mix of frustration and longing. "But that doesn't mean I'm going anywhere." He flinched slightly, like my words hit a nerve. I want this. You. Then stop thinking about forgetting for 1 second," I interrupted, heart pounding. "Stop letting it scare you away." He nodded slowly, gaze darting away, then back. His hands were trembling slightly, and I could feel the tension crackling between us. Desire, fear, and the faintest spark of memory that refused to stay gone. For the first time, it felt like the playing field had shifted. He wasn't blank anymore. He was fractured. And I wanted to piece him together, one memory at a time, even if it drove me insane. A week later, I saw them from across the street, and my stomach lurched like someone had punched it out of my chest. Nathan was laughing, leaning into a woman I didn't recognize. A coworker, maybe? A friend? The way his hand rested lightly on her shoulder. The way he tilted his head so casually, so intimately toward her. It felt like a gut punch. Every fiber in me screamed, he's moving on, he's forgetting me already. I stomped across the street, teeth clenched. Who's she? I barked, my voice sharper than I intended, echoing off the brick walls. Nathan froze mid-laugh. His smile faltered, eyes widening like he'd been caught doing something terrible. James, it's not what it looks like, he said, stepping back slightly. Not what it looks like. I couldn't stop my voice from shaking. Do you even realize how this looks to me? How it feels to see you, this close to someone else when you can barely even remember me? I don't remember everything, he admitted, panic creeping in. His hands lifted like he wanted to explain, but words failed him. I swear I didn't. It's not what you think. Oh, don't lie to me, Nathan, I snapped, the ache in my chest twisting into raw anger. All those coffees, all those walks, every time your hand brushed mine, it meant nothing to you, didn't it? Because you're too busy forgetting me. He flinched, his body rigid, as if my words hurt him as much as they hurt me. James, no, that's not. God, I don't want to lose you. I don't want to hurt you. Hurt me? I laughed bitterly, though tears pricked my eyes. You already are. Every time I look at you and you don't remember, I feel like I'm screaming into a void. And now I see you. Like this. With her. Smiling, leaning, laughing. And you don't even know how much that kills me. He looked like he was going to collapse, guilt etched into every line of his face. James, I feel it. I feel it with you. I do. Sometimes I can't hold on to it. I can't hold on to you. And it terrifies me. The raw honesty cut through my anger, replaced with desperate longing. My hands twitched at my sides. I wanted to grab him, hold him, kiss him until the world narrowed down to just the two of us. My heart ached at his fear, his vulnerability. I stepped closer, my voice dropping to a harsh whisper. Then stop running from it. Stop thinking about forgetting for 1 second. I don't care if you remember everything. I just need this, us, right now. His eyes flickered, something like recognition sparking for a brief, painful second. James, he breathed, voice trembling. His fingers twitched toward mine, hovering like he was afraid to close the gap and make it real. I closed the distance, our knees brushing, our breaths mingling. Do you feel it too? I asked, my chest tight. Even if you can't remember? I do, he whispered, lips just a fraction away from mine, eyes dark, desperate, guilty, wanting. I feel it. Every time I'm near you, it's like my brain knows you even if it can't hold on to the rest. Every nerve in my body screamed at me. My hands itched to touch him, to press him against me, to memorize the curve of his jaw, the warmth of his skin, the tremble in his voice. The tension between us was a living thing, charged, dangerous, impossible to ignore. And yet, he pulled back slightly, fear flickering across his features. I can't promise I won't forget, James. I don't want to hurt you by forgetting. My chest tightened, but I grabbed his hands anyway, holding them, grounding him and me. Then don't think about forgetting. Just be here with me. Right now, he hesitated. Then slowly, finally, he closed the last inch between us. His lips barely brushed mine, and I felt sparks leap through my veins. His hands trembled slightly against my arms, but he didn't pull away. Not yet. And in that brief, electric moment, every fear, every frustration, every heartbreak melted into longing. Desire, agony, and hope crashed together like waves, leaving us raw, burning, and more alive than ever. A week later, we started hanging out more, slowly at first. Coffee runs, walks in the park, laughing over dumb jokes, sharing music playlists, lingering too long on each other's words. Every moment with him felt electric, like the world had narrowed down to just the two of us. I remember the way he'd lean back on a park bench, hair falling over his forehead, eyes softening whenever he laughed at something I said. How his hand would brush mine accidentally, and I'd feel sparks shoot straight through my chest. Those were the best moments of my life. Intense, beautiful, fleeting. I was addicted to him, to the way he made the world feel like it was ours, even if just for a few hours. But then, there were moments that cut like knives. Moments when he'd pause mid-conversation, tilt his head, and frown at me like he was searching his brain for something. Anything he couldn't recall. Sometimes he'd glance at his phone, scribbled notes, or a tiny piece of paper tucked in his pocket. And I'd watch the hurt flash in his eyes, the confusion twisting him like he'd forgotten his own heart. I know we hung out yesterday, right? Or last night, He'd stammer, voice shaky, fumbling with the notes he kept. I can't fully remember. Every time he said it, my stomach dropped. I wanted to scream, to shake him, to demand, how could you forget me? But at the same time, I understood. Kind of. There was fear there, frustration, a vulnerability I couldn't ignore. And I was too deep, too invested to walk away. So I stayed, smiled, laughed, held his hand. Even when my chest ached from his blanks, from the uncertainty that sometimes the man I craved most didn't fully know he craved me back. Every fleeting touch, every accidental brush of hands, every spark of memory he did have, it was enough to keep me tethered to him. And then, there I was, finally, unable to hold it in anymore. Every night, tossing and turning, replaying his blank face the way he'd said, I don't remember you. It was eating me alive. I found him at the park sitting alone on a bench, hands in his hair. The late afternoon sun fell over him, soft and cruel, and my chest tightened. Nathan, I said, voice trembling. He looked up, guilt washing over his face before recognition sparked, just a flicker. James, No, I interrupted, gripping the edge of the bench. You don't get to half feel this. I can't do, sometimes I remember, sometimes I don't. You hurt me. Every time you forget, it's like dying a little. He flinched, eyes watering. I know. I never wanted to hurt you. I swear You did hurt me, I said, voice breaking, tears threatening. But I don't care. I'm not letting you slip away. I feel something for you. I can't just give up on you because your brain is a mess. His hands shook and he buried his face in them. I have trauma, James. Things happened I can't even put into words. Some nights, some memories. They just vanish. God, I don't want to forget you, but I do. I'm terrified I will. I knelt beside him, sliding a hand over his trembling shoulder. Then we anchor it together. Photos, messages, little reminders. I'll be your memory until yours catches up. We'll make this work, even if it's messy. He looked at me, eyes glistening, and reached for my hand. You really want this? Even knowing it could hurt? I nodded. I want you. All of you. Even the broken parts. And just like that, we collapsed into each other, trembling, crying, holding on like survival depended on it. The next weeks were strange but grounding. We left sticky notes for each other, sent photos of little moments, laughed over inside jokes we made on the spot, and slowly built rituals. Morning coffee texts, random lunch drop-ins, and playlists shared on Sunday nights. Every touch now was intentional. Every kiss no longer reckless but grounding. Slow, deliberate, soaking in every curve of lips and jaw, memorizing each detail like a prayer. One night, we lay tangled in my bed, skin slick with sweat from desire, finally grounded in trust. His hand traced my collarbone, then drifted down my chest, and I shivered, leaning into him. "Do you remember any of last night?" I teased softly, brushing my fingers through his hair. He smiled, a little shy, eyes flickering with that old hesitation. I remember this feeling. How safe it feels with you. That's all I need to hold on to, I groaned softly, lips pressing to his neck, feeling his pulse thrum beneath my mouth. Every touch, every sigh, every whispered word cemented what we were building. Desire with trust, intimacy without fear. "I don't care if you forget specifics," I murmured. "I just want to feel this. With you." His arms wrapped around me tighter, lips brushing mine, teeth grazing, teeth clashing slightly in the heat of it. It was erotic, yes, but softer too. Less desperate, more grounded, more us. Days bled into weeks, and something incredible happened. I felt him falling. Slowly, carefully. And I was falling too in a way that no longer terrified me. He left me little notes in my hoodie pockets. "Remember coffee at 7? Song from the other night. Play it." Little anchors for memory. And I left him small keepsakes in his backpack. Photos of us laughing, doodles from our walks, texts I'd written when he forgot and panicked. One evening, he kissed me on my balcony under the warm glow of city lights, soft and lingering. I think I'm finally remembering," he whispered. I laughed softly, tugging him close. "Then don't let go." And he didn't. Our intimacy deepened, not just in bed, but everywhere. In coffee runs, long talks about fears, in quiet touches, and soft kisses that said, "I'm here. I see you. I won't let you slip away." We fell together like a slow, inevitable tide. Desire still burned, but underneath it was trust, safety, love, and the knowledge that even if the world, or memory, tried to take us apart, we had anchored each other firmly in the heart. A few weeks ago, Nathan laughed, the sound light and unrestrained, a little like he used to before the memories got fractured. I leaned against him, feeling the warmth of his body, the steady pulse of his heart beneath my palm, and realized something profound. He was here, fully present, fully mine, and finally, fully remembering me. We were sprawled on the rooftop of my apartment, a blanket beneath us, the city lights twinkling like a reflection of the stars above. The night air was cool, but the heat radiating between us kept me warm. His fingers traced idle patterns along my arm, brushing over every inch like he was memorizing me. Me, not just my body, but my heart. "You know," he murmured, eyes fixed on the skyline. "I remembered something today. Something from our first night." My heart skipped. "Oh?" I teased, trying to sound casual, but failing miserably. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small folded piece of paper. "You left this in my jacket that night," he said softly, unfolding it to reveal a little doodle of us laughing, wrapped in exaggerated cartoonish shapes. I forgot about it at first, but now I remember. Every little detail. That night, it wasn't just a spark. It was the start of this. I laughed softly, pressing a kiss to his temple. "It feels like forever ago, doesn't it?" "Forever," he agreed, pulling me close. Our bodies pressed together, and I could feel the familiar pull, the electric charge now grounded in certainty. Every kiss we shared that night, The heat, the chaos, the desire had finally grown into something deeper, solid, unshakable. I tilted my head up to him, brushing my lips to his. Slow at first, savoring, letting the connection sink into every nerve ending. His hands roamed my back, sliding beneath my shirt, and I shivered at the feel of his touch. Familiar, intimate, trusted. We tumbled backward onto the blanket, laughter spilling between heated kisses. I could feel every line of tension dissolve in his arms. There was no fear now, no hesitation, no blank spaces between us. Just him, me, and the world fading away beneath the stars. "I love you," I whispered against his lips, my chest tight with the weight of it. "I love you too," he murmured back, voice husky, "and I'll never forget it again." And in that moment, wrapped in his arms, with the city stretching endlessly around us, I believed it. Love had survived memory gaps, fear, heartbreak, and longing, and now it was unstoppable. A year later. The sun filtered through our apartment window, warm and golden. I sipped my coffee, watching Nathan stretch lazily on the couch, hair messy, grin soft and lazy. He caught my gaze, eyes sparkling, and I felt that familiar pull in my chest. "You remember our first rooftop night?" I asked, smiling. He laughed, nodding, reaching into a drawer and pulling out a small wooden box. "Of course. I've kept all the little keepsakes from that night. The doodle, the tiny notes, the playlist. Every single thing reminds me of you." I shook my head, grinning. "You're ridiculous." He smirked, standing to kneel in front of me, taking my hands in his. "Maybe? But I'm your ridiculous." And as he leaned in for a kiss, slow, tender, full of all the passion, trust, and love we'd built, I felt the steady, unshakable beat of our hearts sink together. Months of therapy, small routines, laughter, and anchored memories had solidified us. We had built something that could survive anything. And now, everything was ours. Desire, intimacy, playfulness, and a love that no memory lapse could ever touch. I laughed softly against his lips. "So, coffee?" "Only if you promise to kiss me after," he teased, tugging me closer. And I did. Because 1 year later, under sun or stars, rain or rooftop light, Nathan and I were no longer fragile, no longer hesitant. We were us, whole, healed, and unstoppable. The end. If someone you connected with deeply could forget you due to circumstances beyond their control, would you fight to make them remember? Or let go to protect yourself? Thanks for watching. Subscribe to become part of our Rainbow Force, and consider joining our membership for early access and exclusive content. Stay wholesome.